Welcome to IPO Direct. Listen, just a quick announcement here. It's not a very long video. If this was sponsored by Elon Musk, I'm sure you'd all be getting involved straight away and you'd be reaching for your wallets. Well, it's not, sadly. However, what's happened, if you haven't understood what's happening with the SpaceX IPO, initial public offering recently, and you haven't been aware of it, you've either been watching the World Cup too much, or you've been in your bed way too much. The SpaceX IPO was a pre-IPO that was launched at $135, and depending on which broker you elected, there was a matter of a few $100 entry fee or a few $100,000. I think JP Morgan was 100,000 entry level, and a lot of the other guys were doing it for, $5, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000. So it depends how early you got in, but listen, that SpaceX IPO is all about used rocket engines. That's the project, and it's a fantastic project. Elon Musk is a genius, there's no question. Very successful businessman. He seems to be able to put his thumb right on the spot when and where it's needed. And if he puts his name on something, it's probably going to work. It's probably going to be very successful. But I'm not sure how much future demand there is for the used rocket business. I'm not a speciality in new space technology. I don't think there's many people who are. But no doubt in the future, there'll be scrapyards and recycling centres full of used rocket engines for sale. So you correct me when I'm wrong, and I'll probably be long gone then, so will all of us. But listen, let's get to the point. A pre-IPO, it was double oversubscribed, okay? It was $135 a share, as I just mentioned to you. It went up to about $165 when it listed on the stock exchange in America, and fantastic news it was too. But since then, it's been a little bit disappointed. It's been flagging a bit. Now, there's another aspect to this which hasn't been necessarily made that public. If you own that stock, there's intervals to which you can sell and take profits. The reason for that is obviously they don't want a flood of an exodus of sellers, because then the share price will collapse. So they've integrated stages and amounts at which you can sell your profit. You can relinquish your profit. And that goes up to 1 and 2 years, which is fine. In actual fact, anyone who bought SpaceX with the Musk brand should really have been thinking long term anyway. Sure, it's lovely to get a punch, a nice profit initially when the stock lists. It's a very good feeling. And sure, you might take a bit of cash off the table. But if you're going to invest in something to do with space technology or any heavy industry, you need to be looking long term. And look at the sector. The sector itself is so important. Now, I'm going to tell you about this company we've been permitted and contracted now to release, which is called Faber Canada. Faber Canada has developed clean taste technology for Faber beans. It's in direct competition with the multi-billion-dollar soybean business, and it's going to overtake that very, very soon. Now, the reason we like this, and the reason we've decided to give this opportunity to private people like yourself, is because a lot of people don't get a chance to buy into IPOs. Like I say, not everyone's got 100 grand lying around or more for things like SpaceX. And not everyone heard about it in time either. It was twice subscribed, as I say. Now, we've got an opportunity. You can either come on board this as a business opportunity and take a piece of the action with Faber as an end user or as a working partner, or you can become an investor. Now, here's the good news. Entry levels are 25,000 US dollars. The shares are only Canadian dollars, I stand corrected. The Canadian Securities and Exchange Commission are monitoring this transaction, by the way, very closely monitoring, and we're very happy that they are. The share price at the moment is $1 Canadian per share. Intrinsic value is already 24% up at $1.24. The reason for that is there's been a recent announcement of a $2 million contract already signed, done, sealed for between now and June 2026 to the end of this year for $2 million worth of protein bean supply. And additionally, this contract also, they have taken all of the residual product, all of the end product, some of the product that doesn't get used, the byproduct, if you like, with the beans. So it's a very profitable deal. It's a very lucrative deal right now, and the timing is perfect. But here's the thing. They've already agreed to extend that last week by another 2 million Canadian dollars. So the total amount of the contract is 4 million Canadian dollars. Now here's an explanation of what happens. You put your money into this company, and like any IPO, it's not subject to market conditions. It's not going up and down, up and down, up and down because of the war in Iran, or because of the Russia-Ukraine war, or because of the economy or inflation. None of these factors affect it, generally speaking. You're in, you've got your shares, you own them, you are a shareholder. Not just a nobody that has a few shares. You're a shareholder, and you're treated like a shareholder. You're in communication with the company. They issue news releases, press releases. You're on a mailing list. You're in phone contact with them if you need to be. And you can, by all means, visit the factory. Now, we're doing a full 360 tour of the factory. All right, this is going to be a virtual tour, of course, unless you fancy flying yourself to North America. A virtual tour of the factory. Now, this company's got already 125 plus farmer associates, 60,000 acres of productive land, and it's also got a fantastic factory working already. Now, it's making money. I've got a fantastic investor pack I'd like to send out to you. This features a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, a share application form indicating, as I said, $1 Canadian per share. Have as many or as few as you want. And on top of that, you're going to get the executive summary with the last accounts and a full description of exactly what you're getting involved in. One of Canada's top accountants, corporate accountants, is monitoring this along with the Canadian Securities and Exchange Commission. You really can't go very far wrong. If you're a pensioner and you've got a little bit of money you'd like to park, you could do a lot worse. You could do a lot worse. The beautiful thing about this is going to list on a stock exchange, and our company, IPO Direct, is actually going to be instrumental in listing this, and I fancy a dual listing, in two separate cities. I fancy Hong Kong and Toronto. We'll see how it goes, but it'll do very, very well. Food at the moment is a massively productive sector, huge profit, and the soybean business is slowly going to be drifting away in favour of the faba bean. The taste is better. They've got the technology to clean up the protein levels of it. And in default, it's actually increased the profitability by 56%. Now, don't take my word for it. That's been verified by a number of good accountants. Okay. Now, ultimately, we want you to get involved. IPO Direct is our company, ipo-direct.com. Send an email to me. My name's Rob Jowett. I'm the CEO of the company. We've registered the company in Dubai or UAE, London, UK, and we're going to be listing in a couple of other countries ourselves too shortly. Please come on board. We look forward to seeing you, and any questions, don't be afraid to ask.